Hi, it's Agnes, and I have a YouTube request from a viewer, Owen. Owen, this one's for you today. Now, you said you did a video for me about changing the past, but could you do another one explaining how changing a past experience mentally influences the present and future? And I don't know if you could include this, but I was wondering if we could change the past using Ho'oponopono prayer. Okay, great question. So, what I want to say first is looking at how changing a past experience mentally influences the present and future. Now, I'm going to put down below in the description a link for the Law and the Promise book by Neville Goddard. Now, in that book, you'll have to scoot through and find it. There's a story of a woman who her whole life she had really bad back problem. She ended up bedridden and having so many treatments over the course of her lifetime, and a lot of it, most of it, didn't really relieve the pain she was in or the issue. So she started to read Neville Goddard. She started getting into his work, and she was practicing Imagining Creates Reality, Neville Goddard's technique of going back and revising the past. And she remembered a situation where she'd been swinging on this swing as a little girl. And when she came off the swing, she landed and she hurt herself as a small child. Okay. So she went back in imagination. And what she did was she saw herself on the swing, swinging at the age where she had the accident, and this time as she came off the swing, she landed firmly on her 2 feet, ran to her mum and said, "Look, Mum, look what I can do." Now she redid this scene again and again and again until she fell asleep in the scene. And she did it, you'll have to check the story for the exact details, but from what I can remember, she did it for a very short period of time, up to, I think it was, I think she said it was like a couple of days. And within a couple of days, she noticed that the back pain was starting to ease. And within 2 months, the back pain had totally gone. So, your question about how can revising the past influence the present and then the future, in her case, she was then no longer bedridden. She said that she'd tried all these external things, and really what she needed to do was correct the internal. And using her imagination, she did that. But also, then it went on to, it affected her future, which meant that she was no longer crippled by this. The thing is it really the injury from childhood that's crippling her today? Or is it because she keeps the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about it, that I had that when I was a kid, therefore now I have an issue with a back injury? So you can see, which is it? Is it the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about the event? If she had stopped doing that, would the pain have gone away quicker? So, and personally, I think when you keep something active, as in I injured myself when I was a kid and therefore I now have this now, is the belief that creates a line of energy. It's like a cord from you today all the way back to the past where that event took place, and that's how you keep it alive through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about it. So let me just have a look at your question again to see if I've answered everything. And I don't know if you could include this, but I was wondering if we could change the past using Ho'oponopono. Yes. Ho'oponopono dissolves a part of us that creates a situation now, but it is the inner child's data or information or memories, like this woman, that keeps something alive today and then creates a condition today. Okay, so if you use the Ho'oponopono, what I'll do, I'll put down in the description the Dr. Hugh Len Inner Child meditation, which is to do with the Ho'oponopono. And I will put the Ho'oponopono link to the 1 hour meditation and my Ho'oponopono meditation down in the description for those of you that haven't seen it, so you can use it. But yeah, so what you're doing is anytime you've got something in front of you, new or old, that's bothering you, like her thing was the injury was old, but she was keeping it alive today and creating it, keeping the problem alive, not living in the solution. So what you're doing is with the Ho'oponopono is you're dissolving the part of you that created it, whether it's old or whether it's current, okay? Because the data is stored in your inner child, okay? So what you're doing is you're going back and you're telling the inner child, please let go. I don't need to know what the good thing is you don't need to know what the actual event was that started it all off. You just work with the inner child and you ask it to let go, and then you send it whatever the emotion is, whatever the thoughts are, whatever the beliefs are, whatever the event was. You basically hand it to God and say, please transform this, please purify this, and then you send it to be dissolved, and then you get back to an inspirational state. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, Owen. Let me just have one more quick look at what you've said. Yeah, I think I've answered your question. I think sometimes using an example rather than trying to explain the theory makes it a little bit easy. And that particular story in The Law and the Promise is brilliant in showing that exact thing that you've asked. Okay, I'm going to upload this for you now. I'll put the stuff in the description and I'll see you in the next YouTube, everyone.